Papyrus!
Somebody call a doctor.
I want a bigger logo! You can't handle a bigger logo.
G'day, this is the Dr. Branding Podcast. I'm your branding Dr. Frank. The surgery is open. Let's answer our next patient's question. Okay, this one comes from Monica in New Zealand. She says, Doc, we need to update our website and other touch points like our packaging in the short term, but we have the desire to update our brand too at some stage. Do we update the brand first and then the site? Yeah. Okay, Monica in New Zealand, thank you for asking this question for the Dr. Branding Podcast. We are going to diagnose this problem, then prescribe a solution to do better branding. All right. In the past 2 to 3 years, I reckon, this has been one of the more common problems that I've had to diagnose for clients. And to prescribe a solution for it really comes down to the context of where your business is at and what the more pressing problem is that is more imperative to fix first. Okay, so this potentially difficult condition, you might say, is far from rare. Okay, so it's becoming far more common, if that alleviates any concern of what this condition could really do for your business. And it's diagnosed as brandositis. Simply put, do you work on your brand first or do you work on your website first in this particular situation? And I say it's becoming more common because it's especially prevalent in businesses that are based on an e-commerce platform. Okay, they're an e-commerce-led business with online sites, possibly what Monica's going through, and that's the digital shop front nowadays for many businesses around the world. We've got to rely on our e-commerce store staying open, being usable, being attractive, and getting someone through to the sale in an efficient way to make them confident in the purchase. But this isn't to say that a service-based business isn't going through brandositis. It's a case that, a real estate agent might experience, the same with a fellow branding services provider. Having these same conditions being prevalent in service and product businesses, I think, it's across the board. All right, so this is something that could be affecting anybody. Which do I do first? Do I do my brand or do I do my website and, other touch points like packaging? So let's focus on those three: branding, website, packaging for this. But I think, however, the imperative part here I mentioned earlier really is the more prevalent issue or symptom, let's say, for e-commerce businesses. As a website's going to be more important to fix first than a brand, most likely, especially if it's an established business. If you're starting out, then I would probably say, the easy fix here is branding first, website second. But it all depends on this context and the imperative based on the symptoms that are being presented to you. So in terms of a prescription, we've diagnosed the problem, brandositis, branding, or your website. But as a prescription, depending on the context here for Monica, is if there are some of these following symptoms, let's say you have a website problem. And I'm going to list a couple of them off here. A low conversion rate, a high abandoned cart rate, so people just getting to the end and then they abandon their cart. You've got their details, you can see who's buying, they just bow out and don't follow through with the purchase. Low time on site is another one. Customer support issues based on on-site usability. You might be getting a flood of emails with very similar problems appearing where someone can't get through to customize their order, or they can't get through to the order page. Some pages aren't linked properly with certain buttons. Usability in terms of legibility of text. There's a lot of different issues that could be based on usability and the customer support problems that people are submitting. And then there's some symptoms that are really telling you that you've got a website problem. Or the other part to it, which we were going to say before, was packaging. Symptoms like breakages, things that the packaging just isn't really holding up well. Transport costs, or something related to this, low profitability based on your packaging. If any of these are occurring for your website or packaging, then You should be taking your site and packaging immediately to emergency. To have these problems looked at and treated by your web person, your packaging, your manufacturer, your packaging designer or your manufacturer. Or go back to the drawing board and finding a better packaging solution or potentially a better website solution. You might be using a WooCommerce website and you move to Shopify that might be a more stable platform for you, more easier to use, things like that. Okay. You want to fix those problems immediately because they're going to be affecting your day-to-day business, whereas something like branding is generally a lot more long-term. And this is what we're going to get into here. If it's more of an aesthetic problem that you feel subjectively, let's say, and it's an internal subjective feeling, or it could be an external subjective feeling towards your brand of customers maybe not aligning with the values and purpose and what kind of mission you're on to help the world in whatever way it is, or help them with their problem. People aren't really attracted to the idea of it. Then, we might want to focus on improving brand awareness. We might want to focus on improving conversion to get from, say, social media posts to your website, to buying the package, and then advocating for it, looking at that whole funnel of what your brand could be doing as much as your website could be doing, as much as your packaging could be doing. But I think this can be treated, this brand or site can be treated, if it's not an immediate emergency, this can be treated in any order. And it really comes down to a few factors, be it time, be it your capacity of being able to sort these problems out, and your budget. So, a small website fix is probably going to be a cheaper fix for you than doing a full rebrand or a full website overhaul or a full packaging overhaul. It might be just one little tweak that you put on your packaging. You put a little extra call out to say this certain benefit. We're on 100% natural, whatever it might be. We have no sugar, or made fresh daily, whatever it is. You can treat this in any order. Okay, so you could pick which one is the more relevant to you, which is the more imperative solution that needs to be fixed. And I think if you do connect with a brand service provider, a website developer or designer, a UX UI kind of person, a user experience UI, user interface agency person, they're going to tell you what is working from their professional opinion. And I guess you just got to take it or leave it, and thinking what works is going to work best for you. You got to be the best judge of your business. It is your business. They can give you the best advice of what they could help you do or what you might need to do if it's not with them. For a client that might come to me and they say, okay, we want a new logo. It's like, well, yeah, cool. Your logo at the moment looks pretty good, but how's everything else going in your business? And then you proceed to tell me, well, conversion's pretty low on my website. People aren't really seeing the packaging on the shelf. We don't have it in as many stores. We're not getting enough sales. It's like, well, there might be more pressing things that need your attention more than changing your logo because you're just not happy with it. Has anyone said that your logo is bad? Probably not. It's not to say that you can't do the branding. It would be of benefit to you, but it's more likely going to be a very long-term result rather than a more immediate result for certain usability features, let's say, or standing out on a shelf immediately, things like that. That said, the more ideal manner in treating brand or situs, let's say, if this problem, this condition that you do have, I would recommend the following order. It might sound biased. Believe you me, I get it. But the first one is branding. The second one is your packaging. The third is your website. And then the one we haven't really talked about is promotion. Okay, website you could say is promotion in some respect, yes. But promotion. So your social media content, your Facebook, Instagram ads, outdoor ads, TV ads, radio ads, all those things to really promote your business, your brand. Okay. And you might not have packaging, whatever the touch point is. It might be your shop front, signage, your uniforms, whatever it is, any other stationery and things like that. The reason I say this, let's say in terms of packaging, we'll use the packaging as an example. Branding first, because the branding goes on the packaging, okay? Your packaging imagery, let's say if you have a bottle as a product, you sell a bottle, that imagery of the packaging needs to go on your website to show your customer what it actually looks like, what they're getting. Or your product might go on a supermarket website and you need to have a product image to show on there. So we've got to do branding first, packaging second. And then that product imagery, is going on your website. So then we do our website third. Okay, so we've got the content to put on the website. We've got the branding, we've got the messaging, we've got the visuals, we've got the colors and fonts and logos and everything to put on there onto your website. We need to have those assets to make this website work. This is in the case where you don't have the website working. But if you needed to do a whole rebrand, it's going to need a website, refresh across the whole page. And then you promote the brand across, your different touch points to get customers all back to your website. Okay? So we need to have the website before we do our promotion. So this is how we want to do it. Now, in terms of going about, let's say, the website and doing that first, for instance, you could by all means fix these problems. You could get someone in to not touch the visuals, but you do want to do it at some stage later, let's say. But you just need to get the website up so you can then promote it and you can get people to your website, find out more about you, sign up to your services or buy your product, okay? That is a very common occurrence that I find from clients. Now, in terms of what you do about the branding part of it, I hear that it's like, well, we don't really have the time and the money to do the branding part. We do want to do it in the future. We've got this really basic thing. We just want something that can work, that can get this website going. We can get our message out there. Done. That's okay. We've got all these things already. We just need to update the site. So, okay. We do the site now. It just means having to go back and do that again on your website if we do branding. So we need to go back and change all the colors, potentially change the message again. We need to change, the imagery, the logo placement, all those things. Not a huge issue, some of these things, but it might require updating again, doing things a second time, which is going to cost you a bit more time, a bit more money, but that might just be the predicament that you're in, and you just have to roll with the punches of that decision. That's okay. You can roll that way. It's the same thing with your signage. You might do the branding first and not have the time to do the signage. You just need to update the signage because it's just looking like absolute dog's balls and it's not good. It's not appealing, but just updating what you have with your existing logo. You can't wait for a new logo to be developed, new colors, all the rest of it. Then get something done immediately so it doesn't look like you have a rinky-dink setup and people are still going to want to come in the door, and it does stand out, attracts people, all the rest of it. Just get those things done if that's going to affect your day-to-day business. That's what I'm trying to say here in terms of a prescription. But if you do have the time, if you do have the capacity, you do have the budget to be able to update these things, do your branding first, do your packaging or your signage or stationery, whatever it is, do your website, and then do your promotion. Do it in those order, and that should help brand or citus for you there, Monica. I do hope that does help you. And then for any of you, if you are a service-based business or you're a product business or you're helping these product and service-based businesses, I do hope this helps you. So look, thank you again for your question. And for those of you listening, I do hope that helps you too in whatever capacity you're in. Please take a piece of brand candy on my way out, this free resource guide to help you do better branding that you can get on your way at g'dayfrank.com/candy. You can make an appointment like Monica via that same link if you have a brand-related ailment. And I'll see you at the next appointment in my next episode. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening. The surgery is now closed. The Dr. Branding podcast is hosted by Reagan Frank McCrill, that's me, and for legal reasons I want to be clear that I am not a registered or qualified doctor. The premise for this podcast is that it is a satirical analogy for branding consultancy to help others with their brand success. This podcast is also sponsored by my branding business, G'day Frank. Say G'day today by booking a call with me at g'dayfrank.com.